Yo, Tom from Toonami here. You're listening to the UGO podcast, and I hope y'all are ready, because Trailer Talk starts now.
And welcome to Trailer Talk, guys. We only got one for today, but boy, is it one for the ages.
Unless you want to watch more Punisher like we did last time.
I got nothing left to say about Punisher. We're going to talk about another Marvel hero that I'm excited to talk about. Because I didn't know if you know this, Travis, but the Trailer Talk, it will not be televised today. No. It will be live. Because we got Black Panther to talk about today. You guys excited?
I am.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Have you seen the trailer yet?
I have not. I knew that there was a trailer, and I was like, I've been so caught up in, Thor Ragnarok is what I also this trailer popped up, like, holy shit, that is also coming up.
Justin, how many times have you watched the trailer?
At least twice now, because I watched it myself, and then I watched it with Double Toasted commentary on it.
Lightweight.
And how many times have you watched it,
I've
Nick?
watched this trailer so many fucking times.
I'm going to spoil my complete thoughts on this trailer, but I'm going to say, I like it. It's, I'm about as hyped as I was as the first trailer, so no better, no worse kind of thing.
And I will be interested to hear some of those thoughts, because I have some thoughts too, but let's first give Black Panther a watch that Travis can get caught up with us. So
I know what your vagaries are.
So let's give that a watch.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine.
Is that Martin Freeman?
I've seen aliens
That's Martin Freeman, yeah.
drop.
Bilbo himself.
His amazing American accent.
Never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up. Let's go.
We are home.
I'm so badass, I don't even have to use a steering wheel to steer this ship.
Just my mental fortitude.
It is your time.
Angela Bassett.
Show me my respect and bow down.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to
Oh,
be.
well then dictator.
Easy choice.
Don't freeze.
I never.
Bitch, please.
Why is it always when there's a black lead character there's rap music or hip hop music?
Show me my
Just-
respect.
Now, what's this guy's name? Killmonger?
Killmonger.
Oh my god, that was
Well, there's
actually- I was
Killmonger and then a
kind of
Manny.
joking. I was hoping I was misremembering that part.
Cause we own ya. Everybody think they know me now. Cause we own ya. You and I'm a homie.
Oh, that person had a steering wheel. It was just digitized.
I waited my entire life for this. The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all.
What happens now determines what happens.
Ooh.
Dun,
That's
dun,
hot.
dun.
That was sexy.
Remember that shot
He
from the
lands on
first
his
trailer?
feet, right? Get it? Kids
Yeah.
cats.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out.
Ah!
Shit will not be televised. Let's have some fun.
Oh, fucking Sonic Hand. Yes!
Dang, that's a lot of damage, too.
So I take it this is in South Korea?
The revolution will be live.
The trailer for the Black Panther.
Wakanda forever!
Oh, man.
As three white guys, what did we think about this trailer?
Awesome.
All I can say is, I kind of feel bad now for that Annihilation film, because it was trying to be the best movie in February, or at least the one good movie in February, but Black Panther's coming out in February, so...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Annihilation.
Well, you got the big blockbuster film, then you got the arty movie. So, there could be room for two.
There could be, but the general rule of February does not care about genres.
Alright, so, yeah, this trailer, like the previous trailer, it just has this slick nature to it that's really cool.
So slick, it doesn't even need steering wheels.
That, and it has, like, the imagery is super awesome. Like, we've never seen Wakanda in live action before, so it's really
It
neat
looks
to
very Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it is like it does feel like you're in another planet or whatever when they go through that dome, and it's like, what the fuck is this place? I mean, it does have a very African feel to it. It's just very aesthetically cool. Now there is a couple things if I want to nitpick at all, but like so we have what's his name playing the villain Killmonger?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. He's got the cool transition with it when he armors up. He's got like it fades off of him.
Yeah,
like that's
Which
pretty
is something
cool.
that's not canon from the comics.
Yeah, he's his character doesn't have like a Black Panther costume. It's kind of like more of a spiky thing. And I'm not 100% crazy about there being just an evil Black Panther.
it kind of seemed like there was more than one suit, even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, oh, really? So that's it? Like he's
It's not
gonna
very
have.
unique.
Well, it's,
I mean, we pretty much made African Iron Man. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's a couple other things like I'm not super jazzed about like the Black Panther has like this kind of purple digitized thing on his armor or whatever, like this energy thing. And I'm kind of like, the reason I like the Black Panther suit so much is that it's very minimalist and slick.
Yeah, it's very
looking.
sleek.
I guess they wanted to get the whole thing like Wakanda's so advanced they can like materialize armor across people's bodies.
Yeah,
you know?
and use like nanites and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get that, but also it makes him a lot like Iron Man.
Mhm.
Like it makes it look a lot like the Iron Man suit assembling on itself. Like
Yeah.
maybe it's even more advanced than the Iron Man armor because like even the Iron Man armor can't, disassemble on like a molecular level.
That'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, I'm not like I guess I'm just like the villain, like especially for these first movies, the villains always have to be a dark reflection of the good guy.
It is a pretty common trope for these movies, yeah.
I mean, it's the same reason we always get speedster
Yeah.
villains in the TV series of The Flash. Is like those are
Well, it's funny too because they had to put in 3 villains for this one because it's not just Killmonger.
Yeah.
They also have what's his name, Andy Serkis as the Claw.
The Claw.
Ulysses, whatever his name was.
His fucking
Yeah.
Sonic hand,
and that's
which
his
is
gimmick.
awesome.
Is that he's a dude who lost a hand and now he's a bad guy. But
Mhm.
and then you have the character who will not be named but actually is named the Man-Ape in this one, which is Winston Duke's character with the giant freaky mask and that stuff. It's like, okay, so I guess you don't want to call him Man-Ape because that sounds ridiculous, but
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do it with a giant tribal monkey monkey mask on.
Man, we don't want to
You already
call anybody
crossed that
Man-Ape.
threshold.
That's a little weird. Let's get that Killmonger guy in here. Much more.
So
Yeah,
much
you're
more
right.
subtle.
Let's show them what the original costume looked like for Man-Ape. Then you can see how ridiculous it looks.
I love the what's her name for his bodyguard chick.
Oh, that's Michonne from Walking Dead, right?
Yeah, I don't remember the actress's name at all, but like she's
Dene Guerrera.
Man, she is really good. She's very intimidating.
Mhm.
It was just like she can come up to Black Panther, and we've seen Black Panther in action, and how badass he is. And she's like, "Hey, don't be a pussy when I drop you off of this out of this airplane." And it's like, I'm a goddamn superhero. Like,
I mean, he still was
Yeah, he
basically
does
like,
that,
bitch, please, but...
Yeah, he does a Mr. Popo thing like, "Witch, shut up."
Yeah, like don't freeze. Like, what are you talking about? I like to think that she's probably more badass than even he is.
Well, because I think they had established that she's one of the Dora Milaje, which are the personal bodyguards of the Black Panther.
Yeah.
Because it's her and that woman from the last movie among the ranks of that, and they are scary looking. Just with those two ladies just alone, they are freaky. They're like, I don't want to mess with these ladies.
No.
Well, it's like the one from Civil War only got one line, but I remember it because it was up to Black Widow. She was like, "Move, or you will be moved." And I'm like, God damn!
And you believed it. She was gonna take her out.
Okay.
And I love Black Panther's response to that. It's like, as entertaining as that sounds. I'm just like, oh, jeez.
Also, I love his accent. It's. I mean, I guess it is kind of African, but it's like got like this kind of regalness to it as well. Like I kind of like
funny because a lot of actual Africans have kind of complained about that. We're like, oh, he's just making up some nonsense African accent that's not any one country. But again, it's Wakanda. It's a fictional
made-up
country.
Yeah, I mean,
so-
I think that he only has to get it down to where it sounds vaguely African, and that's basically it. I mean, it's better than Michael B. Jordan.
Well, okay, so there is a plot reason for that one because
He's supposed to be raised in wherever,
New York.
right? In New York?
In New York, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so they established that his family got exiled from Wakanda, and then he was raised in New York, and then came back to Wakanda. So
Okay, cool. Because he's the only one who's like, who's talking like a New Yorker. Like
I'm sure they tried an African accent on him. They're like, ooh, this is not working out very well.
Wait, so even in a movie set in an African country, we still had to get New York somehow involved in a Marvel movie? It has to happen.
Well, and also
huh?
it's clear that, Michael B. Jordan and the director will refuse to work with anybody else. So they had to find an excuse to put him in the movie, even if he couldn't do an accent.
Well, there are so many black actors in this film. Like, it's got to be like the casting call of this had to go out like almost every black actor in Hollywood has to be in this freaking movie.
Yeah. Anyone who's won or been nominated for an Oscar is in this cast. It seems like
All the sexy black people.
Oh yeah, Lupita Nyong'o, Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett. Just tons and tons and tons of people in this cast.
Yeah, I love the Black Panther costume. I love how it looks. I love it in action. The only thing
It's very efficient. I like about that. It's very efficient looking costume. Yeah.
I'm not too crazy about the glowy elements because it makes it a little more CG sci-fi than I think is absolutely necessary. But that's
There's
like a pretty minor.
There are a few kind of like flashy CG effects. You're just like, it looks okay. Maybe it'll look better when the movie comes out. But
maybe when it's all moving around, you won't notice as much too.
Well, I kind of liked his best scene in Civil War was that first scene where he shows up, where it's just him on the chase scene with Cap and Bucky. And most of that, like, there's not a whole lot of like, there's CG for his suit or whatever, but there's not a whole lot of glowy ray gun shit going on.
Right.
Although, I mean, that Speed Force effect they were doing when they were running super fast through the street was a little goofy.
Well,
like,
that was
they're moving
because
so fast they're creating speed lines. It's like, okay, come on, guys.
Well, that was a lot of the editing where it's like it shows them running and it's like, are they running faster than the cars? That doesn't seem right. Like, I know there's like super soldiers and stuff, but they're like running really fast.
Bit much.
Like,
I want to just see a crossover with them running. You see Barry on the side. It's like, hey, what are you guys doing here?
Can't do that.
Just running around. I loved that moment of that the Michonne gets with the Wakanda forever. Although that makes me think her character's gonna die because that's what you yell. That's a thing a character usually yells right before a heroic sacrifice.
Yeah, or getting blown to bits.
But it is like it does get you kind of jazzed up for it.
I mean, she still has to do Walking Dead. She's contractually obligated, so we'll see what happens there.
Well, it's not like it's a huge part. I mean, even if they go forward with further movies, I don't think it would be a huge, drain on her time. Otherwise, Andy Serkis, always like that guy. I'm glad he's coming back as the Claw. That's his, Black Panther is one of Black Panther's classic villains. I like that he has a fucking sonic hand. That's awesome. I love it.
I know the evil white guy has to be in this, so.
Well, we have the one good white guy and the one bad white guy. So we're,
that's most we need.
Yeah,
we've met.
So, okay, I'm assuming that he's supposed to be South African, right? Andy Serkis's character.
I think so. I mean, he had an accent in Avengers: Age of Ultron. Was it South African?
I think because I think they went to South Africa at first, unless no, they went to Wakanda in the first one too, but they went to that part of Wakanda that's clearly not in this sci-fi universe because it's all like street
it's
trash,
all just a shipping yard or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so Wakanda is the most selfish country in the African continent, apparently. And they're just like, we have like technology that could revolutionize the world, but we're just gonna let all these other continents fall to pieces and go into civil war all the time.
Yeah,
like,
fuck them.
I want to see if they address that. Just like, so why don't you help out Nigeria or Sierra Leone or any of these countries? Just like,
well, the UN helped them.
Maybe if you guys got off your butts and did something.
We're off doing our own thing, creating Black Panther armors and fucking shit. Like,
how much might those cost? Could have saved so many people with that. We did.
They've described this movie as being a mix between James Bond and The Godfather, apparently. The Godfather.
Yeah, so basically, like that, all the regal stuff with his family is supposedly plays a huge part to the plot. So,
yeah. I mean, I'm super excited. I do like Michael B. Jordan. It is a shame that he's not been in a whole lot like lately. Like the Fantastic Four stink is still following him a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not super crazy about the him fighting another version of himself, but more or less, it's standard first movie stuff, like origin stuff that is easily forgiven if the writing is pretty solid on it.
Well, I'm just kind of interested in like how much further do they have to keep pushing these first movies? Like every time they make new ones, it seems like they keep setting the bar higher and higher. To the point where what's going to point where we start getting like mediocre first movies because they can't go any higher.
Well, now I think they're going to be introducing second tier characters and stuff because we've got everyone basically major.
Right.
Black Panther was one of the final holdouts, so it was like, finally, we're getting a Black Panther movie.
Which, I mean, to be fair, Black Panther's only come into prominence in the last, decade or so as we've been trying to push the more diverse heroes. Because growing up, I wasn't really familiar with Black Panther at all. I mean, and to be fair, I wasn't familiar with Iron Man because he kind of really wasn't the top hero for the public, at least until the first Iron Man movie came out.
No, it's interesting to see the retroactive popularity of some of these characters. Like Iron Man, believe it or not, he was just not that big of a character before the movie. He was like, people knew who he was, sure, but like he was not, like, I would say he was probably part of the B list of heroes, really.
Wow.
Like he was. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have put him up with like Cap or Thor or some of the more A-list superheroes.
And now there's whole comics of him versus Cap.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I only knew him because my grandmother bought an Iron Man toy when I was a kid. I'm just like, oh, this thing's cool. I don't know who this is, but sure. And then, now I know. Now everyone knows Iron Man is like the premier Avenger for Marvel. So.
Yeah, well, some of these other, like, if they're going to do solo movies for other characters now they can go to smaller people. Like, if they want to give
just
Hawkeye...
tack him on.
If they want to give Hawkeye his own down spy movie.
I'm pretty sure they're
something.
never going to do that now. Like, they should, but they're probably never going to do that. And it's just like, poor Jeremy Renner. That poor guy.
Well, I don't see why him and Scarlett Johansson can't go off and do a separate spy movie together and they keep the budget low on it. Like, maybe spend only 40-50 million on it rather than the hundreds of millions they usually spend.
And they probably make just as much money off of that movie.
Off the branding alone. I mean,
just for all the people who want that movie.
Get like Martin Campbell or one of those like really premier like action directors to do a small budget spy espionage movie with those two guys. That would be amazing, I think.
I mean, it just makes so much sense to me on a logistics level that I don't understand why. There must be a reason they haven't done it, whether or not maybe they have to pay the actors a lot off the top end or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but again, you keep this movie's budget really low.
Yeah, there's some contractual stuff, I'm sure, but...
Yeah, maybe they're worried about using up their appearances because they can only appear in so many number of movies or something. Although I think Jeremy Renner will do with whatever the fuck he wants. I don't think that's a big concern.
Yeah, but Scarlett Johansson maybe not so much.
At least Jeremy Renner still has his art movies that he does because Wind River was really good. But it's just
it's not like he's not doing anything.
Yeah. So I don't know,
but he seems like a guy who likes to do everything.
Yeah, but Black Panther, you need to go big on this one because he's a fucking prince or now king character.
Right. Whoops.
And it's also representative to have a big black ensemble superhero film. So there's no way they're going to skimp on putting money into that. So
yeah, and he runs his own fucking nation that is a futuristic like pocket dimension. Like it's so technologically advanced and it makes everybody else look like they're decades behind the curve.
Right, like even Iron Man is like, oh well, you're maybe catching up to us.
Like Steve Jobs would head over to Wakanda and go like, "Holy shit, what the fuck?" I can't
watch all of this.
Just rolling around in his grave. Yeah, so this one had to be really big to begin with. I'd say that Black Panther is a perfect character to use in some smaller aspects. They want him to be a globetrotting like spy hero as well. They can do that. There are more options to go with after the first movie as well. And I don't mind the movies going like kind of scaling down and being a smaller story too.
A little more insular, yeah.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I liked about Ant-Man too. Is like Ant-Man's a little more smaller, a smaller story. Hell, even like the moments of like Winter Soldier that are really cool are just Cap on like these missions or whatever, like these even before the whole international shield incident. But yeah, this very exciting. Any other any other things we wanted to mention before we wrap this one up?
Nope, just it's gonna be the good February movie, I think.
I have a hard time feeling that Marvel will miss on this one, which is, I mean, they haven't had this most stellar rating lately with like the Defenders being okay, Iron Man or Iron Fist being shit.
Well, I mean, that's the TV shows too, but I also do think that their movies can range from being really, really good or really, really mediocre, which is almost just as bad. Where you're like, yeah, Doctor Strange, it's not that I dislike that movie, but I wouldn't say it's like my favorite Marvel film, kind of thing. So here's
that one I think is just the steeper competition, and I really like Doctor Strange.
No, I liked it, but I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. Like, they don't make really bad movies, but I think it's just as maybe disappointing when you say, like, oh, I liked it. I can't really say what my favorite scene was in that movie, kind of thing. So,
well, it's Dormammu. I've come to bargain. Really,
yeah. That's definitely the best.
It's definitely the best scene. I would agree with you, Justin, and sometimes I do feel like that. I never feel like they're mediocre. I always feel like they're at least good. Like except for the Iron Man,
the one or two blemishes,
two blemishes on there.
Ant-Man, Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I liked Ant-Man, so
I think Ant-Man rises above mediocre. I think it's actually fun.
I think it's
in
kind
retrospect,
of garbage, but that's just me.
In retrospect, I always get more of a higher opinion anytime DC tries to make a movie. I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, this is what actually bad movies are like.
All of a sudden, our mediocre goes a little step up.
Yeah, well, I think, you just get used to the Marvel level of quality of just like, this is their standard level, and you're waiting for it to kind of rise above.
Mm-hmm.
But
DC is just there, it's helping the curve, for Marvel at least.
But anyway, yeah, let's wrap this one up. Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever! Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And if you're interested in checking out some of our other content, why not check out the UGO podcast on iTunes or at our webpage, unapologeticgeekout.com. And again, thanks for watching.